Welcome back to ARC Florida. So summer is here and parents are trying to figure out schedules and activities to keep their kids entertained for the summer. But what if the best thing to do for your kids is to let them go a little feral? I am joined now by parenting expert and mom of 7, Hannah Keeley, to talk more about letting our kids sort of run wild for the next couple of months. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Oh, I love talking about this. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. So let's start with, what is a feral summer for our kids?
Well, a feral summer is when you remove so much structure. By definition, children are naturally curious, they're naturally creative, they're naturally free-flowing. But unfortunately, as adults, we lose some of that. You know, we have to have the structure, we have to have the boundaries. And when you apply that to a child, they can often get what I call structure fatigue. And a child needs to have boredom in their life in order to let that creativity blossom. And that's what feral means. It doesn't mean like the house is a wreck. It means that your children are allowing boredom to produce creativity.
So why should we let our kids do this? What are some of the benefits that you've seen?
Well, first of all, it helps a child with problem-solving ability. Now, if you're always applying structure to a child, they learn to restrain themselves, which, you know, there's a time for that. But they also don't get to practice creativity. So first of all, it allows more creativity, more self-confidence. And also, here's the crazy thing. We're seeing stress occur in young children, really like grade school children. And this is unnecessary. That structure, I think, comes from an adult template applied to a child's life. So also it can remove stress by allowing more freedom for the child.
And so what are some ways that we can implement a feral summer for our children?
Okay, well, a lot of moms are not going to want to hear this, but probably rule number 1 is get rid of the screens.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if we tell our children that they have to put down their devices, we have to do it as well. So we can't like say one thing and do another. So this could be a great opportunity. If you're a mom, give yourself a little bit of a wild summer. Like, what would you like to create? Instead of being a consumer, which that's what we're doing when we're scrolling, and that's what our children are doing when they're gaming and scrolling, we can start to be a creator. So what is something that projects you can do with your children? Could you start gardening? Could you make something outside? Could you do build a fort? Like, what could you do with your children? So all of you guys can go a little crazy.
I love that. Always good to get, you know, the parents involved as well. I'm going to go home now and I guess build a fort with my kids. So how can people learn more if parents out there are looking for more of those activities that they want to do with their kids this summer? Where can they find out more?
Well, you can always reach out to me on Instagram, Hannah Keeley. So I answer everyone on Instagram, but also sit with your children, ask them what they would like to do this summer. If this was a summer where they could create anything they want, what could that be? You never know what you could come up with.
I love that, giving them, you know, the creativity to think and to play with you. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us this morning. This has been great.
Thanks for having me on. So much fun.
There's a lot of great stuff there.
I'll come over and build a fort with you. Yeah, absolutely.
My oldest loves a fort. So we'll be doing that a little, I guess.
You know, one thing that, you know, has really worked well for my kids, sometimes if you say, okay, you know, okay, just go do something.
Right.
Well, they get confused. They don't know, and they're used to things. And if you have a house that's like really kind of clean and tidy, then maybe they're like, just taking out something. You know, taking the blocks out and putting them in the middle of the floor. And don't say, go play with the blocks.
Right.
Just let them sort of figure it out, you know, and maybe you take out multiple things, the blocks and the coloring books and the this and the, you know, and you just put them out.
Yeah.
And you just walk away and say, okay, no screens.
And see what they do.
And see what they do.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
When I pick my kids up from daycare, I try to like put the phone charging. Usually by the time of day, it's like battery's gone. So we sit down and eat dinner, my phones are away too. So we're able to kind of connect and talk about things. And then, you know, my toddler's ready to go play, and we try our best to, I guess, make it different every day. He wants to play with the same thing, but let's figure out what we can add to it. Can we build something that makes, you know, the Paw Patrol toy that he's playing with more fun?
I was just saying, it says a lot about where we are in this day and age, that wild summer means no screens. You know, that's where we're at, and I'm all for it.
Doing. That was like regular summer for us.
Well, and make sure, no matter how feral, no matter how wild it goes, you build in that reading time. Got to have that reading time during the summer.
That should be the rest time.
Absolutely.
That's the rest time. All right, great.